Do you remember riding in the car as a kid? Restless, buzzing, unable to sit still, just bursting with impatience to get where you were going? Those long interior highways, the flicker of telephone poles, the hum of wheels like background music to all the plans your imagination was building. There was a kind of ache in waiting, but also a thrill, because the destination felt magical. This letter comes from a future version of me, the me who has finally learned that the journey through life ends up shaping us far more deeply than any milestone we reach at the end. The me who has had time to look back, to sort through the memories and see what mattered most. I remember those childhood car rides so clearly, when the whole family piled in to go to church, or grandma's for Christmas, or even just to the store. It all felt exciting. Any destination felt like an adventure. My parents planned every detail, especially on big trips. And as kids, we assumed that meant they had all the answers. So from the back seat came that relentless chorus. Are we there yet? I know it drove them wild, but now I look back at the huge anticipation behind that question. The energy of wondering who we'd see, what food we'd eat, what gifts might be waiting, what joy waited just a few miles ahead. We were too small to understand time, distance, or logistics. All we knew was excitement. All we felt was the thrill of what awaited us. We grow up, though, and something like that childlike expectancy gets reshaped into urgency. Later, when I dated a pilot, I discovered there was a name for this mindset: get-there-itis. The impulse to fixate on arrival, to treat the destination as supreme, to see interruptions as threats instead of possibilities. Even though my dad wasn't a pilot, he embodied the adult version of that urgency. No amount of pleading from us in the back seat ever convinced him to deviate from the plan. The route was set. The schedule mattered. The only respectable thing was to keep moving and stay on course. That, I learned without ever being formally taught, was the adult way of preparing for life. Figure out where you're going, plan every step, and do not drift from the course. Without noticing when it started, I let that shape me. I learned to measure life in milestones: the next achievement, the next benchmark, the next sign I was on track. Chasing the finish lines slowly became my theme song. But here is where the future version of me steps in, the one whose voice writes this letter. She has lived inside our life longer than I currently have. She's seen where our roads bend. She's watched detours turn into stories we wouldn't trade. And she's learned something I'm only beginning to understand. The journey is bigger, richer, and more alive than the destination ever could be. She wants to say this gently. Planning did keep you steady for years. It was survival, comfort, and certainty. But planning can also blind us. When life is drawn like a map, with inked lines and fixed stops, we stop noticing the unexpected turns that might lead somewhere beautiful. We assume the good part waits at the end, instead of on the way. From her vantage point, further down the road, she sees where we missed opportunities because they didn't fit the itinerary. Moments that felt inconvenient, but could have been invitations. People we brushed past because the clock was ticking. Ideas we didn't try because they weren't part of the plan. And she's learned something that helps reframe all of that with softness. The journey doesn't prepare you for life. The journey is your life. The best parts, the parts that feel golden in hindsight, often happen in the margins, between the milestones, in the pauses, In moments where nothing is accomplished, but something inside you opens anyway. Future me wants you to know this, so you don't spend so many years waiting for the important stuff to begin. You can borrow her way of seeing, right here in the present. You can treat detours as invitations instead of disruptions. You can let small opportunities count as enough, all on their own, just because they happened and you noticed them. The end, she says, is never really the point. When you eventually look back, it won't be the destination that burns bright in your memory. It will be the glimpses you caught along the way, the unplanned stops, the laughter in the car, the conversations that lingered, the mundane days that turned unexpectedly tender, the seemingly ordinary parts that turned out to be treasure. Signed by the me who now knows that the end is just a culmination of all the little parts that made the road so full. P.S. Tell me in the comments, what's one quiet moment in your life that might be the start of something beautiful, if you slowed down long enough to notice it? If this meant something to you, play it forward by passing it on to someone else.